Slange, Catriona here from Slange, and I thought tonight we've got our live Love from Scotland chat again, and I have the weekend off, so I'm having half a pint of what Tessinger or something the beer's called. Tusker, sorry. Which I never ever really drink beer, so I just felt like drinking beer. And my mum is on. Hi, mum. And we've got Instagram on. So tonight we're doing our ghost story and myths, Scottish myths and legends chat, and we're also going to just talk about everything that has been happening the past couple of days. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff that has been happening in Scotland today, but also in terms of where we're going with the tours. So I've got Teresa in from Texas. Hi, Teresa. Lovely to see you here. And apologies, I've got so many notifications on my computer just come in with all the stuff that's been happening in Glasgow today. Literally. It's just like, what? Just happens to want to notify me at the worst time. So hi Lynn, and hi Stuart, and hi everybody on Insta as well. If this is going to let me. And I think it might be a bit slow, so if the connection is not very good, just let me know. And we've got Crystal. Finally, Crystal, you've managed to come in on time. Mum, this is Crystal. Crystal's going to be staying with you in Scotland. Crystal, that's my mum there. Kirsty is my mum at the top, Kirsty Park. That's my wee mammy. Oh, it's Bacon Roll listening. Hello. The Bacon Roll incident. It will remain with me forever. For anyone that doesn't know the Bacon Roll incident, it's Teresa's husband, Matt, who was up at the Highland Folk Museum in by Newtonmore, and we went into their wee cafe for some lunch. It was a really long day because there was a major traffic incident going up, so we started about an hour, 2 hours later than we should. So we were all a bit starving by the time it got to o'clock, so we ended up going to Highland Folk Museum and having our lunch there. And on the menu it says bacon roll, and Matt went up and was like, what's in a bacon roll? Like, what is a bacon roll? Like, what does that entail? Because, like, you know, you don't get it in the States. And the girl was like, it's it's basically like a round bit of bread with bacon in it. So I thought that was quite funny. So that's this poor girl in the Highlands trying to explain what a roll is rather than what a bacon roll is. She was so confused, and that's remained to this day. We've got Jean. Jean is in from France, so bonsoir. And we've got Kateri, love you, hen. And Taylor, you're going to take a drive to Airdrie, but the Airdrie in Canada, not here in Scotland. We have an Airdrie here as well. Our Airdrie is just by Glasgow. My computer's just been annoying. We've got Dee in. Hi, Dee. And we've got Ian in as well. So hello, folks. I hope you're having a nice Friday evening and you're able to celebrate it wherever you are, however you are planning to do so. And if my connection is not very good, just let me know, because I don't know from this end. It just shows me as everything's okay. So I'll be on again tomorrow night. No sound on Instagram. Well, that's really annoying. Well, Graham, I think I might love you and leave you on Instagram because it's just playing up again. Just go over to Facebook if you can. So there we go. I'll see you all soon. as usual, Instagram is not a very good platform at the moment. I don't know what's happening on Instagram, but everybody's complaining about it. So hopefully they get that sorted before too long. My mum's like that. It was Airdrie here first. Yes, mum. We all know. Jean-Philippe, not enough speed on his computer at the moment. Well, that's fine. Good stuff, Graham. I don't know. I've just switched it off on Instagram because it was playing up. For anyone who's here, my mum is actually doing the face masks for those who who've ordered one. And they will be sent on Monday. So if you have ordered a face mask, she's working on them tomorrow and Sunday, and they'll be sent out on Monday. So there you go. And if you want to see the creator of those masks, she's in the chat. It's not Kirsty at Ha. That's what it looks like. It's Kirsty. So that's my mum's name and my middle name as well. So I'm Catriona Kirsty. So what's been happening in Scotland? I'm sure you've all seen. I may as well bring it up. It's like the elephant in the room. From what, I mean, I've not looked at it in the past couple of hours, but there was an incident in Glasgow today. But we don't want to dwell on that. So hopefully those who were hurt will recover quickly. And we wish them all well at the hospital. In terms of tourism at the moment, it looks like everybody is opening back up. I spoke to a guy over on Barra today, and he said that, in fact, it is absolutely going to be opening up. So I don't know what that's going to look like, though, because there's the social distancing is still in place. So you can only have so many people. I know from today, looking at the news, America is, well, you guys are headed for another spike by the looks of things. So I don't think you guys are going to be traveling anytime soon. So it looks like we're going to be catering mainly for the domestic market for the remainder of 2020. So I'm looking forward to that side of things. And I've not spoken to my dad. My dad was working at the hospital today on some of those who were injured today in Glasgow. That's what my mum's just saying. So it's awful. But anyway, and you've totally thrown me there, Mum. And there's a lag here, so I'm seeing some of the comments a bit later than I would like. So in terms of travelling to Scotland, I've been asked quite a lot this week because it looks like things are opening up again, but not really for us at the moment. In terms of international tourists, I can't see us really having many international tourists because every country is dealing with this differently, and there's going to be travel issues across the board. So if you have booked Scotland this year, have a wee think about it, speak to your airline, do what you need to do, because the chances that there's going to be another spike or another sort of restriction on travel is quite likely. Well, it might not happen, but we're in that sort of unknown period right now. And if you're set on traveling here, in my opinion, I would postpone it to next year while you still can. For those who are in the UK, you're already in it, so it's a bit different for us. But yeah, just follow the rules and do as you're told. Yeah, I saw that. Texas, it looks, yeah, I saw that your governor was saying on the news today that people haven't really been following the rules like they should. And the numbers are going up and up and up. They're not going down at all. So yeah, I can't see you guys traveling for a while yet. So tonight, although everything that happened today, it was quite tragic what happened. The scenes in Glasgow were pretty horrifying today. I heard about them later on this afternoon. We're not too far from Glasgow here, but the kind of atmosphere at the moment is still quite calm. So yeah, it looks like it was all contained. And our First Minister said today, don't speculate on what you don't know. So a lot of people have been speculating on the internet about what was happening and what was happening. The last thing I saw was that there's no evidence to suggest anything other than a tragic incident with one individual. So we can only go with what we have. So and the only thing we can really do is just hope that those affected make a speedy recovery. So I'll get that out of the way, because a lot of people have been messaging me today, just making sure I was safe, which was very kind and lovely for you to do so. But yeah, I don't feel unsafe at all. So I just thought I'd put that out there. And we're going to jump straight into the ghost story night and the Scottish myths and legends. So a wee while ago, we were doing some stories with my youngest daughter, Tamsin, and we read 2 stories. We read the Kelpie one night, the Legend of the Kelpie, and we read well, I can't remember the full story now, but the Loch Ness Monster story. And I thought I would show you some of that, because there have been sightings of the Loch Ness Monster in the past couple of weeks. So I thought we would have a wee bit of a laugh with that. If you have any questions about any of the Scottish myths and legends, or things that have been passed down to you in some of your own folklore, maybe there's a link to Scotland or Ireland, because Ireland and Scotland are very similar in a lot of our folklore. It comes from a lot of the Gaelic tradition. So if you have any questions about that, I would be happy to have you engaged in this conversation. Before I go into it, I'll just quickly read Trish over in New Zealand. Obviously, borders are closed except for residents returning home, and mandatory 14-day isolation is now required in a facility managed by the Army. We were 24 days COVID-free, and now we have 14 cases that have come over the border, but they are all in isolation. Won't be coming to Scotland until we are allowed. So that's pretty much what we're seeing. I had some conversations with the people in Norway. I was speaking to my pal Laurent over in France, who is part of the Clan Ramsay over in France, and he's saying the same thing is happening in France right now. Even though there's no quarantine, a lot of the businesses are not able to open yet. A lot of people are not looking to travel, so they're looking to travel at home. So even if this doesn't stop or affect you traveling, it's going to maybe stop a lot of people coming here, which is again going to just impact tours and hotels and everything else. They might shut because they've not got enough customers. So it's probably better just holding out and seeing what's going to happen in 2021. That's what I'm looking forward to. In other news, it looks like we will be offering our tours. I had a chat with other tourism operators 2 days ago on a conference call, and it was really positive. So we had people who do all sorts of things, gin tours, we had chocolate tours in Edinburgh, we had outdoor activities in around Inverness or the River Ness. We had some people from who do hiking tours and things like that. And we all have the same issue. We're not really going to be able to compete or rather sell our product to the international clients. So some of us are going to be operating a much reduced service, and we're all looking to operate but in a safe manner. So I have come up with our walking tour. So we are going to be operating our walking tours locally here in Greenock. That's where I started. We're going to do the Greenock Cut, which is roughly an 8km/6 mile hike just on the hills behind where I live now. It's a really amazing walk. It's really easy. It's part of the Clyde Moorshoe Park, so it's got lots of amazing flora and fauna. The views are spectacular. You see a lot of the west coast of Scotland. You've got views to Bute, to Arran, across to Argyll, down through the Spango Valley. So it's a really beautiful hike to do, and it's set along what's now considered an ancient monument, which is the aqueduct, which was carved out in the 1820s, first opened in 1827 as a means to feed the industry in Greenock, and became a byproduct of that was clean drinking water for the townspeople of Greenock, which was amazing at the time, because this is the time of cholera, diphtheria, all these horrible diseases you get from drinking dirty water and poor hygiene in closed, squalid conditions. So this really affected the town people here positively, and it was the second clean drinking water initiative, although it wasn't its primary objective, but it was the second of its kind in the world. So that's quite cool. It's rated top 50 walks in the UK, so it's a really amazing walk to do. So we're going to be doing that, and we can keep our groups nice and small. We're outdoors, have masks, clean hands, and we can also enforce social distancing on the walk. I can make my voice carry, but we've also got wee walkie-talkies for anyone who's standing at the back so that they can hear what's happening. Although, I mean, I've done that walk for people, I've done that walk for up to 50 people at one time, and we managed it no problem. So it's for 8 people, I do not foresee an issue. When we come to Greenock, I'll also be doing our Greenock Town Trail. So the Greenock Town Trail was initiated about 8 years ago, 7-8 years ago now, to all the heritage points across Greenock, of which there are many. And we do a walking tour. It takes about an hour and a half, and we're going to end it having a nice bit of pizza or something like that at my sister's partner's restaurant, which is at the end of the walk. So that's going to be a fun thing. And again, for locals and people to learn about your own place, to learn the history and the culture of each place, and also some things that you might bring to it as well, you know, reinforcing your own oral traditions about being in Inverclyde or being on the River Clyde. I've taken, in fact, with these 2 tours, it's quite interesting because I've never really taken anyone other than local people on them. So when I mean that they've come to me to book them, so I've done it a lot for the cruise ships. So we get a lot of cruise ships, and we work directly with the ships, and we do the walk, for example, the cut walk. And obviously when we did My Peak Challenge, it was one of the walks. So I did mainly international people on that. But normally it's people, I mean, I've had people from Paisley, I've had people from Greenock, from Gourock, from Glasgow, from Ayr, from Dumfries. Like, it's mainly locals, people within Scotland who book that tour, and it's just something they can do as a wee half day out, something, you know, that doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's just doing the water. So it's easy accessible using public transport, and there is car parking if you bring your car down. So a wee bit of a plug there. So that's what I'm looking to do from the 15th of July, and more details of that will come shortly. I'll just quickly see, we've got Big Al here, hello, and we've got Trish. This year you'll be touring the South Island of New Zealand. I'm incredibly jealous, so cheers to that. Now, there have been stories of the Loch Ness monster being sighted quite recently. So we have from May, I read something literally just the other day about it, and they believe it was probably actually just a giant catfish. So I was trying to work that out because I'm rubbish with these types of things. I don't really understand fish at all. So a lot of people say, what type of fish can you fish in there? And I'm like, well, I know from someone told me brown trout somewhere, but I don't know anything about what you can find and what you can fish in Loch Ness. I have to be honest, fishing is not my thing. But certainly we can always find these questions out for you if you're out with us and you have one of these random, very random questions. I just want to show you the picture Inverness Courier. And it was a hunter. So this, let me just share the screen with you. So we're going to go to talking about Nessie. And Nessie apparently was first sighted or first recorded by, you know, an account with St. Columba when he went to Inverness. He went to basically baptize and convert the local Pictish king. And that was quite fun for him, obviously. I don't know if it was fun for the local people to have converted to Christianity. I don't know what you're saying, Mum. Sorry. Let me just quickly share this with you. Share screen. Here we go. So this is long-time Nessie hunter claims third sighting of Loch Ness Monster this year. So I'm just going to put me off the screen because nobody wants to see. Go to stream. Can you guys all hear me okay? Sound is gone. Ah, okay. Well, have you got my sound back? I think it's just sometimes when I share it. Oh well, you can't hear me now. Damn it. Helmut, you're not watching this. No. I've got nobody for support. Okay. Is my sound back, guys? As long as you could read what I was showing you, that's the most important thing. Yay! Okay, I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. I think I need to share, even when I'm sharing a screen, I think I need to make sure that the sound is on. My bad. Okay, so I've just found another website. Okay, I'm going to share it with you and I'm going to make sure the sound is on and I'm going to leave my face on it. So if you can't hear me, I'll be able to see it in the comments in better time. Okay, so let's go. Share screen, share audio. Yes, Catriona, there you go. Okay, so this is a website. Can you guys all hear me now? I hope. Fingers crossed you can still hear me. Just before I carry on, I want to make sure you can actually hear me. We're talking about Nessie tonight. So let's see. There's such a lag. Awesome. Perfect. Cheers. So let's go and do our Nessie chats. So these are all the sightings in the 21st century. So we've got here just the 9th of June. So this month, we've got on the 9th of June, 2020, Callan Wangle, who was again watching the webcam from Oregon, caught a 10-minute sighting of something unexplained at 8:27 a.m. You can see this footage on YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to stop this. I'm going to go to the YouTube and let's see if we can see it, if we can see anything. Okay. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to share this. Hi, Elizabeth. Okay, so let's go share. Let's see if we can find Nessie. Okay. Second Nessie sighting, share audio. Okay, let's listen. And play. So guys, can you hear me again? I'm going to keep checking in with you because I'm okay. It seems like there's a problem with the sound. I'm going to do that one more time. Okay, we're going to start this from the beginning again. Can you guys hear me back? Good. I don't know what's happening on it. It's just been really weird. So I'm going to remove myself from this now. It seems it's not working today.
When you clicked on sharing the screen,
I've clicked audio. Yeah, it's not working. Okay, it seems that the audio's...
maybe there's no audio on this.
No, it's not hearing me speak. I don't know what's happening. It's clearly not working as it usually does. So it might be something with the connection or something. I don't know.
So when you're not sharing it, they can hear you.
When I'm not sharing, they can hear me. When I'm sharing it, as soon as I take myself off the screen.
Right, I can hear that now.
Can you hear it? Okay. So we're back. So I don't know if you could at least see what I was showing you there. I might do that again for any other videos. It might take me off. Got you back, Matthew. Yeah, I saw that, Matthew. If you can hear me now, it's busted. I don't know. It's just busted. Software. So I'm not going to bother talking over it. So what I might do is explain what I'm going to show you. You guys can then look at it and then we'll talk afterwards. So when I share the screen with you, don't expect to hear any sound for a couple of seconds, and then I'll bring you back into what I'm showing you. Now that video, I'm going to show you one more time, is a lady, and I'm not going to share it with you. I'm just going to read it out. So this is a lady called Kaylin Wangle, who was watching the webcam from Oregon, caught a 10-minute sighting of something unexplained at 8:27 a.m. on the 9th of June 2020. So what I was showing you there was the YouTube video of that particular sighting. Now, what I've noticed is this, whatever's happening, it doesn't like it when I share it and I take myself off it. But because of what I'm trying to show you is quite small, you really need to be able to see it in full screen. You don't want to see my face next to it because it's small enough as it is on full screen. So what I want you to do is see if you can see it. Let me know. I'm going to show you. I only need to show you for a couple of seconds. And what's good about this particular video is it actually has a little red circle about where you need to look and some writing on the screen. So look at that. And then I'm going to bring you back and see if you all saw it. Okay. So I'm going to share that now. Don't expect to hear any sound for the next couple of seconds while I show this. And then I'll come back and then our sound should be back. Okay, so I'm just going to do that again one more time, and hopefully it works for you. Okay. So there we go. I don't know if you guys saw that very quickly, and I can see what the issue is. It's only when I'm sharing a screen without me on it, you can't hear me for some reason. It seems to be their system. So let's just see. Did you guys see what that lady Kaylin saw? Just very quickly. Let's see, because I saw it very briefly, but if you ever go to Loch Ness, the interesting thing about it is it's so vast and so black, like it's hard to tell, but it also has like almost a tidal system. Now I've got to be very careful when I say this because Loch Ness is a freshwater loch. It is our largest loch in terms of in terms of water volume. So it's very deep and it's very long. And for that, the water is very black. It's so vast. And because it sits in a bit of a basin, the way it sits, it is slightly affected by the tide. So it is technically tidal, although being a freshwater loch, that's rather strange. But it's true. It only moves by a couple of centimetres every day. And you can see that on the shores, but a lot of people find that really amazing. So sometimes it can be really weird to be in a loch or on a loch and to see strange things like waves as big as they get. I'm not talking about in choppy weather, but it does feel like there's some commotion on the water. It feels like you're almost on a sea. It's a strange, strange place. And I think sometimes that is caught. Again, they were saying that the Loch Ness monster could be a catfish. So I'm just going to quickly show you that. So here we go. Giant catfish, Loch Ness monster. So this was something that came out last year. And it was basically saying that, well, this one is actually giant eel. So it says, the creatures behind repeated sightings of the fabled Loch Ness monster may be giant eels, according to scientists. Researchers from New Zealand have tried to catalogue all living species in the loch by extracting DNA from water samples. Following analysis, the scientists have ruled out the presence of large animals said to be behind reports of a monster. No evidence of a prehistoric marine reptile called a plesiosaur or a large fish such as a sturgeon were found. Catfish and suggestions that a wandering Greenland shark were behind the sightings were also discounted. Ah, okay, so it's not a catfish either. There you go. The aim of the research was not to find Nessie, but to improve knowledge of what plants and animals live in Loch Ness. One plausible theory for Nessie, says scientists, was that it is a giant eel. So European eels are among the creatures in the loch and whose DNA was picked up by the new research. Juvenile eels, known as elvers, arrive in Scottish rivers and lochs after migrating more than 3,100 miles from the Sargasso Sea near the Bahamas, where the animals spawn and lay eggs. Now, how amazing is that? I mean, that's pretty amazing. Sorry, we've got Matthew here on YouTube and he says, this is probably the best thing for me tonight. You know what works for me is when your audio is goofing to say something wildly inappropriate. Always picks that up. That's a really good one. I might do that next time. Hi, Helen. Helen's just in as well. So that we've got eels that come from the Bahamas. That's what we've got. That could be who the Loch Ness monster is. So we'll just continue on. Professor, I think I'm drinking too much beer now, guys. Professor Neil Gemmell, a geneticist, come on, Katrina, glasses on, from New Zealand's University of Otago said, people love a mystery. We've used science to add another chapter to Loch Ness's mystique. We can't find any evidence of a creature that's remotely related to that in our environmental DNA sequence data. So sorry, I don't think the plesiosaur idea holds up based on the data that we have obtained. He added, so there's no shark DNA in Loch Ness based on our sampling. There's also no catfish DNA in Loch Ness based on our sampling. We can't find any evidence of sturgeon either. There is, however, a very significant amount of eel DNA. Eels are very plentiful in Loch Ness, with eel DNA found at pretty much every location sampled. There are a lot of them. So, are they giant eels? Well, our data doesn't reveal their size, but the sheer quantity of the material says that we can't discount the possibility that there may be giant eels in Loch Ness. Therefore, we can't discount the possibility that what people see and believe is the Loch Ness Monster might actually be a giant eel. DNA from humans, dogs, sheep, cattle, deer, badgers, rabbits, voles, and birds were also identified by the researchers. So that's pretty cool. So the Loch Ness Monster is one of Scotland's oldest and most enduring myths. It inspires books, TV shows, and films and sustains a major tourism industry around its home. The story of the monster can be traced back 1,500 years when Irish missionary St. Columba is said to have encountered a beast in the River Ness in 565 AD. Later in the 1930s, the Inverness Courier reported the first modern sighting of Nessie. So that's the one we've all seen. And I'm just going to quickly share this with you. Let's go share. So this picture here that everybody knows about, this one right here. So in 1934, highly respected British surgeon Colonel Robert Wilson claimed he took a photograph of the monster while driving the northern shore of Loch Ness. Known as Surgeon's photograph, 60 years later, it was confirmed as a hoax, hatched in revenge after a newspaper ridiculed journalist Marmaduke Wetherall. Sorry, guys, for finding Nessie footprints on the shore. The monster caught on camera was apparently a toy submarine bought from Woolworths with a head fashioned from wood putty. And I actually watched them debunking this myth because in actual fact, Nessie would have only been like this size, but it's still a really, really cool story. I don't know about you guys, but I've always thought that Nessie was a female. Like Nessie is a female, right? So I don't know. Let me know in your comments here. Is Nessie male or Nessie female to you? Let me know. So let's go back to, so what? Swimming circus elephants have been offered up as an explanation for Nessie. There's so many different thoughts. But yeah, and Nessie has obviously inspired people to visit Loch Ness for many, many years. So I can only thank all those Nessie sightings, Nessie spotters, for keeping me in a job. So if you go to anywhere in Scotland, you can buy Nessie memorabilia, you can buy Nessie kind of teddy things, you can buy, or Nessie soft toys, you can buy Nessie t-shirts, Nessie hats, Nessie t-shirts, Nessie salt and pepper shakers. Like literally there's nothing that they haven't thought about that you could buy. So it's kept a lot of Chinese people in a job as well, because most of that stuff is not made in Scotland. A wee dig. So everybody's with me here. Nessie is a female. We've also got here, Helen is like, Nessie might be a giant vole, which I think is quite funny. I went on a cruise on Loch Ness in 2018. I have a Nessie soft toy. Do you know, I don't think I've ever purchased anything Nessie. Although I might lie, I think I bought a friend abroad when she was having a baby. I bought her a Nessie little like toy t-shirt. So I think that's the only Nessie I've ever bought. My thing, where we go, I tend to buy like Highland cows. Like I've got Highland cow soft toys, Highland cow t-shirts for the kids, Highland cow rain ponchos, like Nessie fridge magnet. No, I don't even have a Nessie fridge magnet. I don't Now, what kind of a tour guide am I? I should have a little Nessie like on the front of our vehicle, but no. Hi, Kim. I got your email. I will reply to it tomorrow as soon as I have a chance. I got it while I was out on my walk this evening. I received it, I think. So it's been a very busy day. Let me just see if I've got it here. So there you go. And I've got my pal James in. Hi, James. Hi. What else? So the other thing that people don't know is that there are other monsters and stories of monsters around Scotland and other lochs. So like the Kelpie, it seems to be like a running theme with our sort of folklore here. So there was always some sort of monster. And I think when you were living in such a closed society, and then if you see like a giant eel in your loch, like, what is that? Because it can't be a common thing. And all of a sudden you've got a monster. I don't know about some of the other lochs, like Loch Morar has its own. I think even Loch Lomond had a monster. Like, so many lochs around Scotland had a monster. And you have to think maybe it comes from old tradition. I always like to think a lot of our stories come from like fables, like almost like your Grimm's brother story tales. So you've got or Brothers Grimm, I should say. Grimm's. Wait a minute. Brothers Grimm, yeah. Your kind of fables. So talking about everything has a meaning to it, and it's a way to keep people in line, especially people who are not very well educated and quite cut off from other people. So it's an easy way to control them by saying, no, don't go down in that loch, don't get in a boat, you're not allowed to fish, kids don't go swimming, you've got to be in, you've got to be doing your work, you don't want to be having any of your leisure. And it's also a way of saying if you don't behave, Nessie will get you, the big monster will get you. The thing I like the most is the story about the Kelpies, because the Kelpies are obviously our water horses. So again, the Kelpie stories all over the place. And a Kelpie is basically a monster who presents itself as a beautiful horse. There are slight variations of each story, but the most popular is that it presents itself as a beautiful tame horse close to a body of water. You climb on its back and it drags you and it runs into the water and it drowns you and then eats you. And you have to think that horses were more valuable than people at one time, and stealing a horse was a hangable offence. You could be sentenced to death for stealing a horse. And this was pretty much across the whole world because horses are so precious. And I think it's just a way to basically teach children that if you see a horse by itself, even if it's, you know, it's tame and everything, don't get on it. It doesn't belong to you. Don't touch it. It probably belongs to somebody else. And it just, you know, strikes fear into little children's hearts that they don't mess around with somebody else's horse. That's my thought. But I think I'm probably right in doing that in my kind of thinking on it. So we've got Helen saying, I saw an interview of a local guy. He saw Nessie walking in front of his car going towards the loch. Helen, I wonder how many whiskies he drank that particular evening. Says the person who says she sees spirit. So I don't know, like there are some weird things. Like I've told you guys this before. There was one weird thing that happened to me, and it wasn't like a ghost or a spirit. It was a giant cat. And there have been big cat sightings across Scotland, but a lot in our area, and it's like it's a myth. Nobody has ever seen it. or taken a photograph of it. But honestly, I have seen a big cat, and I saw it when I was a teenager on the bottom of Lisle Road in Greenock. My mum now lives at the top of the road there, but at the time we didn't live there. But my best friend at the time lived at the bottom, and I was just saying goodbye to her and dropping some stuff off, and I literally saw a big cat just sauntering up the street. And it was like one of those things, you have to look twice. Your brain first doesn't register what you just saw, and you have to look back. And then I had a friend in Port Glasgow who said she saw the big cat up there, and there's been sightings all over. In fact, now that I'm getting into the big cat sightings, just very quickly before we finish, let's see if I can see big cat sightings. Greenock. Big cat could be a panther. Oh, look at this. So these are all from 2007, 2008, 1996. There's more of panther sightings in Ayrshire. So there's so many stories, but I'm going to see if I can read you out this article. I'm just going to read it out to you. The Meagle cat lady. I'm not going to the Meagle ever again. Helen's like, up the Meagle. Let's go back to our big cat sighting. Okay, so this is in our local newspaper, and I'm going to share this with you, but you just let me know if you can hear me. I'm going to keep myself in the chat, so give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. I like to share these things with you because it just gives you something else to look at. It's not just my face, but also you can see where I found it and maybe go back and read it yourself. So if you can still hear me, great. Thank you, Matthew. Awesome. Okay. So I was intrigued by the latest report of a big cat near Wemyss Bay. So Wemyss Bay is just down the road, actually near where Helen stays. A phenomenon I have been interested in for several years. However, your report on the 15th December suggests the sighting by Dougie Henry resemble a puma. Okay, maybe I've clicked on the wrong one. I just want to make sure this isn't just somebody writing, giving their opinion on what it is. Okay, I'm going to stop this one and go to another page because that's just daft. Here. Big cat spotted at fishery. So this is near where I stay, okay? Let's go and do that all over again, okay? Hopefully this works. It's from the same paper. Okay, so an eagle-eyed water bailiff has spotted the Kilmacolm big cat. The Kilmacolm big cat prowling in the undergrowth at Loch Tom Trout Farm. So this is just across the hill from me. John Kerr sighted the huge black panther through his binoculars at lunchtime on Wednesday. He said it was nearly 3 foot long and 3 foot tall, with paws the size of my hands and a long tail and big pointed ears. I wasn't scared by it. I was more excited. I started looking out at this thing in the background, and it kept walking towards the trout farm. It was so nonchalant. It was black and very muscular, a beautiful looking beast. It then disappeared into the bushes down towards the Kilmacolm Golf Club. It looked like a black panther to me. I've seen wild cats. Oh, hold on a minute. No, I'm in the wrong place, guys. It's actually the place near Kilmacolm I'm looking at. Anyway, Kilmacolm's not far from where we are either. It's in the same county. It looked like a big black panther to me. I've seen wild cats in the north of Scotland, but nothing like this. Big cat tracker Sandy Smith, also from Kilmacombe, said the trail had gone cold, and this is the first sighting I've heard of in this area for a while. It has been spotted in and around the golf course on quite a few occasions. I've been pretty close to it a few times, and I believe it's a black leopard. So there we go. Let's stop that. So what's your thoughts on us seeing a big black cat? I've definitely seen it. My friend saw it in Kilmacombe, in Port Glasgow. And Port Glasgow is very close to Kilmacombe. So it's like on the back road towards Kilmacombe. So I think we have a winner here. And the thing is, black cats or big cats, you know, they tend to be quite elusive creatures anyway. So you never know. It might be someone who had a pet who let it go. We can't have those pets here, but you know what I mean? Like maybe quite a long time ago, maybe one escaped from the circus and had babies, and you know, you never know where this black cat would have come from. But I think it's so cool. And let's just see. Kilmacombe big cat. I think there was actually a video of it. Pretty sure, like, no, there wasn't. I can't remember what I saw, but it was one of my friends. And there have been sheep that have been killed. So that's quite interesting. In the nature of their death and how these sheep were killed. So that's something to think about. So, I mean, I wasn't scared. The animal wasn't coming towards me. It was just going away. So maybe it was the ghost of the black cat that I saw. I don't know. But that's our time, guys. So thank you so much for joining in. As usual, it's been great just talking about Scotland, what we're doing. Hopefully, I'll see you guys soon. To Kim, I'll be in touch very soon. To everybody else, hope to see you here tomorrow night because we're going to do another pub quiz. So that should be fun. And we're going to carry on. We do 10 questions at a time. Maybe in the comments, it might be fun if we actually do a Zoom. So I can actually do a Zoom rather than on Facebook, and it'll be free. You don't have to pay a ticket. So if you're interested in joining us tomorrow night at 10 p.m, send me a message, and you can join in via Zoom rather than through Facebook. Just basically because I want to play some music and stuff. I don't want to sit in silence. I'm just in the mood for some tunes without copyright issues. Even though I'm doing this for free, they always have a copyright claim. Usually they are released, but even sometimes during the video you can't hear the music, so that's not great. Just quickly before I go, Matthew, are big cats not normal? No, they're not. And cougars, I would love to see a cougar. But no, we don't have any of those. We don't really have. Our largest predator in Scotland is probably the fox. We don't have. Our wolves were hunted to extinction. We don't have any lynx. They're talking about reintroducing the lynx here, but there's a big backlash from landowners and farmers, obviously. That's why we've actually got such a big problem with our deer populations, because there's no natural predators for them apart from ourselves. So we have to go in and do all the culling and all that, and they are running amok. So yeah, so if you want to join, just before I go, if you want to join in on the Zoom tomorrow night, I'm just going to do it on Zoom. please, either through YouTube or through Facebook, just put in the comments, just say I'd like to join, and I'll message you, and I'll give you the link for it. I'm not going to put it obviously publicly because I don't want some weirdos joining in, because you know what, we might have some right weirdos coming in, and you can't really do anything about it. Whereas on, I mean, you can, but when we're sharing screens and stuff like that, I'm not really in the mood for that. So if you would like to join in, let me know. I'm going to do that tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. I'll send you all the links, and we can have a nice bit of music and everything, and it's free. There's no charge whatsoever to join in tomorrow night. So hope to see you then. Cheers. Take care. Have a nice evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.